Hi, I'm Shein Shanin and you're watching the Edge TV Evening Highlights. A former 1MDB advisory board member says he quit his position after the fund ignored repeated requests for a briefing on its financial affairs.
When I was appointed, I immediately requested for a briefing on what is the status of the company. From my perspective as an accountant, when I'm asking for a briefing, I need to know the balance sheet, profit and loss, and whatever else information is available. I waited for 6 months. Despite my repeated requests, it never came. I never got any briefing.
He said he was appointed to the advisory board in January this year and resigned in July. Meanwhile, Auditor General Tan Sri Amrin Buang says the final audit report on 1MDB will be completed by the end of the year. The state fund came under scrutiny after racking up debts to the tune of 42 million ringgit since it began operations in 2009. The ringgit sank to a new 1998 low, hitting 4.31 against the US dollar in early trades today. The local currency has lost over a quarter of its value in the past year as a result of domestic political noise and turmoil in the emerging markets. Some research houses like Maybank Global Market Research believe that the ringgit at current levels is not a reflection of fundamentals and that the weakness should be temporary. But others say negative market sentiment is outweighing fundamentals.
This consider as global financial, the commodity price slump is deepening, and commodity-based currencies actually actually suffering from more significant depreciation vis-a-vis the dollar. And at the same time, you have got strengthening dollar, and with job data that just came out, last Friday, indicating that, the U.S. Fed Reserve may be on track to raise rates, in the 16, 17 September FOMC meeting, causing, further weakening of emerging market currencies, including Malaysia. And our local situation is compounded by unresolved domestic issues.
Bank Negara meets at the end of this week. It's widely expected to retain the benchmark interest rate at 3.25%. DBS Group Research says Malaysia's true external debt is zero, or very nearly so. It says Malaysia has run some of Asia's largest current account surpluses since 1997, and those surpluses have wiped its overall liabilities clean. In an economic note published today, DBS said Malaysia holds as many claims on foreigners as foreigners hold on it, and that its true external debt is zero, or very nearly so. Malaysia reported its net external debt rose to 32% of GDP, compared with 27% in 1997. But DBS says these numbers show how external debt statistics can be misleading. It offers this analogy. An individual may have a large debt on his or her car, but that's offset by the ownership of several houses. Similarly, it says a country can have a high external debt that is offset by other foreign assets such as companies, stocks, and US Treasury holdings. DBS adds that the current stock market and currency value turmoil do not reflect the economy. It points out that retail sales and real wages are still growing, although at a slower pace. That's in line with today's slower GDP growth, which hardly suggests a crisis. Despite the weaker ringgit and the introduction of the GST, Malaysians continued to spend on smartphones and tablets in the first half of this year. According to International Data Corporation, smartphone sales grew 42% year-on-year, while tablet sales were up 15%. IDC says some 4.8 million smartphones and 900,000 tablets were shipped to Malaysia in the first 6 months of the year. While Samsung led the smartphone market, China and Taiwan vendors dominated the arena. But only Apple's iPhone maintained its allure. Shipments of Android flagship smartphones paled tremendously in comparison with previous years, with Chinese and Taiwanese smartphone makers retaining their competitive edge by making cheaper phones. Despite the slowing sale, Samsung remains the market leader in the tablet segment as well, thanks to the Galaxy Tab 3 Lite 7.0. Apple also remained strong in the high-end tablet segment and was still able to capture significant market share despite declining growth. Going forward, IDC expects the prices of these devices to increase thanks to the weaker ringgit. Still, it expects overall shipments in 2015 to surpass those in previous years. And that brings the Edge TV evening highlights to a close. I'm Shein Shanin. Thanks for watching.